Pregame.com.
All right, pregame.tv talking college football. Hey, Tuesday MAC excitement. That's when we're taping this. Collectively, the home teams lead 63-0 as we go on air. And I have to tell you, I'm not feeling bad about missing out on these games, other than if I was doing live wagering, I am sure I would be pounding on the favorites, destroying the dogs in these games. We got a good game to talk about here. Well, it looked like it was going to be a good game in Arlington, Texas Tech. Baylor, the wheels have come off for the Red Raiders, whereas Baylor's talking national championship. I'm going to turn this one over to my colleague, Brady Kannon.
Yeah, Texas Tech, they reel off 7 wins in a row, and now they've lost 3 straight. They lose to Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State. Baylor, you know, we're looking at their schedule, and everybody was a little leery. A lot of sharps on Oklahoma last week, and what did they do? They showed up and beat them 41-12, I believe was the final. But most importantly, I think what we learned about Baylor in that game is this team has a pretty darn good defense to go with their best in the nation offense.
Yeah, if you watched that game, in fact, during live wagering, total was like 73. And even Baylor was struggling on offense, and Oklahoma was just pathetic, like we talk about live wagering, how strong it can be. I think they could have played that game 20 times. It would have gone under 16.
Yeah, and you're right. It started out, they were kind of looking like they were just getting a feel for each other. Baylor was just starting to get the wheels turning, and then about the end of the second quarter, you know, the roof came off. Now, what's key in that game, they lost a few players. Tavon Reese, he's out for the year, I guess the regular season anyway, might be back for some bowl games. Seastrunk and Martin, a couple of their running backs that have just been outstanding. They're a little banged up. They're questionable in this game, but it didn't seem to matter. A guy by the name of Shock Linwood came in, 23 carries for 182 yards, and you saw the rest. I mean, it was a slaughter.
You have to wonder RG3, and obviously he's great, but maybe this Baylor team wasn't just all about RG3.
Well,
maybe
how about
Art
Briles, the coach? You know, I mean, that guy probably deserves a little credit, and he's been in the conversation to replace Mac Brown at Texas if that does indeed happen. But I think this guy is almost perfect for Baylor because he seems to have recruited the athletes that are perfect for the system he likes to coach, and it's held true in the RG3 years and here afterwards.
Who wouldn't want to go to Baylor, right? Hot women. I get to run the spread offense, you know. And then we got Michigan on the line. You know, they like to throw the ball around a little bit. No. How about Michigan State? No, tell Michigan State to stop calling. We don't even have to consider them.
Yeah, no, it's like signing up for the run and shoot or something like that. You know, I mean, this is a fun team to play for right now. They're the leading offense in the nation. They compile nearly 700 yards of offense. And the second place team as far as offense behind them in the nation is nearly 100 yards behind per game. So, I mean, they are really piling up the yards and the points.
I think, Jay, before you make this one official, I have to say a quote from Jay Cornegay, who puts up games of the year over at the LVH. And he tweeted, and I know everyone I know and myself have been betting Baylor on every one of these games of the year upcoming. I think Jay looked at his liability, and it's all Baylor, and he's like, okay, I think we've underestimated these guys. Let's make it official. I know you're on Baylor.
Okay, Saturday in Arlington, Texas, a couple of Texas teams, Texas Tech and the Baylor Bears will go at it. The Baylor Bears favored by 26.5. Both a couple of prolific offenses here. Baylor, the #1 in the country. Texas Tech, the most prolific passing attack in the country. But I think the difference here lies on defense. The Texas Tech defense can't stop the run, and they can't run the ball very well. They run the ball only 3.8 yards per rushing attempt, and they give up about 255 yards on the ground per game. In their last 3 games that they've lost after their 7 wins in a row, they gave up 277 to Oklahoma, 281 to Oklahoma State, and 291 to Kansas State. The Baylor Bears just rush the ball for almost 300 yards a game, and the other 350, nearly 400 yards comes through the air. On the other hand, Baylor has a very good pass defense, the #3 in the Big 12. They have the #1 rush defense in the Big 12, giving up just 174, I take that, just 132 yards per game on the ground in the Big 12. Now, if this team, Texas Tech, can throw the ball, they're going to score a few points. and I expect that to happen. However, Baylor is going to be able to stuff the run. We saw it happen on Monday Night Football where the Miami Dolphins could not run the ball, 2 yards rushing all night, and they gave up a ton of rushing yards. It's a bad combination when you can't stop the run and you can't produce the run on offense. I think that's going to happen here on the college level with Baylor running away from this game as that running attack continues to pound and pound and pound, and the Texas Tech offense won't be able to keep up. I'm looking for a final score in the neighborhood of like 59-24. Baylor Bears minus 26.5.
Baylor Bears laying 26.5, looking to get it done. I like that pick. And in fact, one of the sharpest bettors in the world sent me a buy order here in town. He says, get Baylor in the national championship. All the hypotheticals, Florida State against Alabama. And I said, well, what's your buy price? He says, doesn't matter as long as there's a plus on it. Baylor can hang with any team in the nation. Of course, they're going to jump the Ohio State Buckeyes. I did want to say last week, I said that the Ohio State cheerleaders are not as pretty as the other cheerleaders. I got a lot of flack, a lot of emails about asking if I can retract that statement, to which I respond, no, the Baylor girls are hotter. I'm sorry, Ohio State. You got some cute sevens. Keep up the good work, and you don't belong in the national championship game, and nor do your cheerleaders. Sticking with the cheerleader talk, let's go ahead and Boise. Maybe the Ohio State cheerleaders aren't so bad, but we will be talking Boise State and the much despised Wyoming Cowboys. Stay with us, pregame.tv.